Alright, let's see here. I got my man running and doing stuff. Alright, that's cool. Okay. So let's finish setting this up here. Hey everybody. Just setting things up. Give me just a minute here. Most people are like, prepared to do things. I don't play that way. Take on. Oh shit, is that? I guess that needs to actually be my name. Dot Hack. It was a PS3 game that whatchamacallit, they re-released for PS, or maybe it's PS2 game. I don't know. Anyways, it's a Japanese RPG that I'm just like determined to finish, and yet I haven't finished ever. Let's see it. PS2 game that came out in 2006. So yeah. I'm really disappointed in myself for not naming this our take on New Year's Eve. So that's the thing. I don't think it'll let me update the stream name now. It's dumb. Continue. We are not going to do that. Join meeting. Okay. Hey, Will. Yes, you are in the right place. I'll actually have like the rest of it fixed in just like 30 seconds. Do. Wonder, can I? Turns out setting all this up and having like 20 windows open is not the easiest thing in the world. Also, talking to myself is really throwing me off, so that's a thing. Why can't I just do that? Let's see. Here. No. Dumbest thing. Don't make me use whatever. I've literally got so many windows open and like my mouse will not show on Chrome, which that's cute. Oh, that's cool. And Google Meet doesn't work on Internet Explorer, so that's cute. It's just cute. Just great day. Great day. Whatever. We're just gonna roll with it. Fuck it. Our take on New Year's Eve. Continue. Don't want to play this game? I can play better. Alright. Copy information. There we go. Alright, so if you are interested in calling in or talking, there is information in the chat room that will get you added in either by phone or by app or desktop. That'll get you right in here. We'll go back and forth between, talking soaps and all this other fun stuff this great holiday. Do. see, I can go ahead and now tweet this out. I'm actually doing it. Making it live. Wish I could do it from my phone way faster though. The Twitter. Okay. I do from the art. Take account. Let's see, am I? Yeah. There's all right. Since it looks like everybody dropped out, I'm gonna do this real quick. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our take on New Year's Eve. My name is Jonathan, and as always, I will be your host tonight as we sit and discuss and talk all the soaps and daytime and prime time and movies and video games and all of this fun stuff. You can join me both in the chat rooms, respectively, as I've got that pulled up here. And we also are broadcasting live on Twitch, YouTube, and Periscope. You can join in on any of those chats and hit me up with any questions, comments, things you would like to see me discuss, and I'd be more than happy to do so. You can join in on this call by either joining in on the Google meeting, which is posted in the chat room, or you can dial in using the telephone number 1-484-756-1198 with the PIN 357-964-412 pound. That's a lot of information right there. So all I'm going to just roll that on back and say, go to the chat room, get the links, and join me there. I'll just keep pimping that out on Twitter and on the YouTubes and Facebooks and all of the things throughout the night. That's kind of how we're just going to roll for the next little bit. I've got stuff going on throughout. So be sure to just kind of have fun, enjoy. So chat rooms on the YouTube page, on the Twitter, on Periscopes. I don't know why I'm broadcasting on 3 different platforms, but it would let me, and that's kind of why. I that's just kind of how it happened. Um, so throughout, when I'm by myself and just sitting around, I'm going to be playing Dot Hack GU Volume 2, which is a PS2 title that got re-released for the PS4 in the last Recode um, bundle. And I'm just trying to finish this game. The game originally came out in like 2006, and I've been wanting to beat it since then, and I just haven't gotten around to it. But you know what? 2020 is gonna be the year. Gonna be the year it happens. Do. All right. So, do. Since it looks like I'm just gonna be chillaxing here for a little bit by myself. If I don't, hey, Will, see you there. Then let me know. I'm gonna be I'm annoying anybody with my video broadcast, sorry. But they'll go a little bit easier. Yeah, I'm hoping this will go by a little bit easier, but we'll kind of see. This is also the most basic of RPGs that I've ever played in my life. Like, there's literally nothing to it. It's just randomness. But that's why I get bored and go there. Hey, Jenna and Will. Happy New Year's to you both. Hope you guys have a solid night and great plans ahead for 2020. So, what's super interesting about the way I have this like super jerry rigged um, in my house is so to be able to stream this game, I downloaded like the PlayStation like play on your computer app. But really, I'm actually projecting this on a wall at the same time, and I'm just like playing with it because I think that's kind of fun way to go. I didn't watch anything that aired today. So if you guys want to talk soaps or anything like that, I don't know what happened today, but I'm gonna assume a whole lot of nothing, unless you guys tell me differently. But that's something that I'll probably watch here in the next, day or two. It's just kind of how that works. I don't actually know why I decided to do this today, but you know what? I was like, hey, there's nobody doing anything. So let's see what's out there. Let's see. Promotional. Also, the fact that I'm just streaming a game has just made this where it's not just a blank screen of me just talking to myself. But when I zone out on different podcasts, the chances are I'm probably playing a video game. GH was a repeat. See, that doesn't surprise me. I think GH was a repeat. The CBS soaps, if I'm not wrong, didn't they take off today? Or are they taking off tomorrow? Is that what it was? I don't know. They're terrible, anyways. All I saw is that the internet's upset that Doug Davidson had a scene and it was corny or whatever. And I guess that aired in Canada, or was that talking about the scene the other day? I don't know. The Twitter's just dumb. I know, like, it's super weird because all my Australian and New Zealand soaps are on hiatus as well today. And so I think the only thing I actually have to watch is EastEnders and like Days. I'm okay with that. I guess Emmerdale. Just way too many subs. Okay, tomorrow. Good to know. I kind of figured, but I wasn't sure until I just messed this up. Just going in here all willy nilly. Just gonna act like I didn't, and then just go on back. It's just dumb. Like, I'm sorry, he got a scene. It's, I don't. I wish I cared about Paul. Like I do. Like I think Paul Williams should be a character that maybe I care about on that show, but he's not. He's not even a little bit of a character I care about. And most of that has to do with his Twitter shenanigans. It's like, honestly, if people did not learn a thing from our current president, it's stay off of Twitter. Just do it, because nothing good comes when you just get on there and you start interacting and talking out your ass. Corey, was Corey on today? Hold on, we're gonna find out. Not Corey wasn't on today because the holidays throw me off with my UK sub schedule because Corey doesn't typically air on Tuesdays. They're Monday what's the new schedule? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? So I don't think so, but let's find out. Mhm. I mean, I guess I could just go to the site. Wait, it looks like there is Corey. Why is it a Corey? Why are you doing this to me? There's Corey, Amerdale, Easterners, and Hollyoaks, but I have already seen Hollyoaks. So I'll have to. I forgot I have seen a good amount of Hollyoaks. It's coming up. So, but Corey, I guess I will watch that later today. Jenna, you can't give me crap about Googling things. I just want to be accurate. That's it. I just want to make sure that I'm saying the right thing. Okay, well, thanks, Bree and Will. Like, I will. I didn't realize that Corey aired today. It's just the way ITV does their scheduling just throws me off. There's odd clips of hugs. So somebody on Twitter just asked me if I can post old clips of Hollyoaks to YouTube or on my Twitter post leading up to the 25th anniversary. And I mean, I'll post the same clips that I always post, aka John Paul and Craig. That's about the only thing I look back on. And then when like I end up going down the damn YouTube rabbit hole and then just stuck on everything. So I'll have to, I guess, do that again. Exactly. There's ton on YouTube. Like, what am I? Why? Why? But yeah, no, I can just, I guess, throw them up on my YouTube if that's what you, not YouTube, on my Twitter if that's what people want. Just work. All right, let me see here. There we go. Now if I buy this stuff, um, I'm really hoping that my campaign to get Classic Hollyoaks rebroadcast work because that'd be some awesomeness. Also, I'm gonna totally take credit if that happens this year. Just FYI. Just FYI. Well, I've also never understood the concept of, hey, can you just Google this for me, or can you just YouTube this for me and find all the links for me because I'm too lazy to like look this up. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess, but you could do the same amount of work that I'm gonna put through here. But oh, okay, I got you, Bray. A little sassy. So I bought, and just random things that happened today. Um, a couple bottles of wine and also got some champagne and just random stuff to drink because I don't know why. I'm one person playing video games and talking soaps on the internet. I probably don't actually need to be inebriated, but it's always there and it's definitely there to help me make life choices. So that's probably going to happen here in a little bit. I don't know why because I'm not a wine drinker, but because of recent people in my life, I decided I'd give it a shot. So we're just gonna see what happens. But yeah, no, like talking about Classic Hollyoaks, like I want to see those early years when the 20th anniversary happened. I want to say it was 20th. They put like a random selection of best ofs, including the first episode on all four, and it was cool. But like it was missing like everything, and I want the build up to those stories. Have you ever tried River City? A few random times. And my issue with River City is just the fact that I didn't get hooked. Like that's kind of my problem is that it's once a week and it was really hard to get a hold of for a while. Now not so much. Like now I think I can easily like have access to it. Um Mainly due to just the internet being the internet, but um there's so much more connections I have now to like being able to see stuff. So I think I might try it again in 2020. Also, I'm interested. God, this sounds so dumb. I mean, yes, I'm gonna pull up Google again, but Fair City, like I actually kind of want to look at that too, this coming year and just see how those are working out. I try like my Januaries typically are let's try out new soaps again and new primetime soaps, things that are airing internationally, and just kind of giving them a go. So River City's on the list to give it a chance again. Fair City, I'm gonna bite my teeth and try again. I have zero interest in trying Doctors again. I've tried it so many times and it's just not for me. That format just doesn't work. Um, I am picking back up Casualty in Holby City, mostly because my pal Jory is working for them now, and I really want to support him. And I love Casualty, and tolerate Holby City. It's just it's not my number one show. But like I really enjoyed watching Classic Holby, so I would like to get back to that. Um, but also like I'm really enjoying watching Classic Bold, and I really would like to catch back up on Classic EastEnders and Emmerdale, and Home and Away. Home and Away is airing on Amazon Prime right now, and I really want to watch it, but they're also only on the second season, and I need them to be on like season 6 or 7. So we'll see. All right, yeah, back to River City though. When does it air? Isn't that like a Sunday soap? We're looking it up as we speak. Let's see. All right, so River City. All right, thank you, Wikipedia, for not telling me a god dang thing. All right, 30. So it aired yesterday. So it is a Monday show. Okay. All right. Well, for you, Will, I will watch Monday's River City and give it a shot. Do they have a trailer? Last time I watched this mess, it was just wasn't didn't get me. Hmm. Yeah, the last trailer. God, get on your game, BBC Scotland. The last trailer for River City was from June 3rd. Like, guys, you gotta you gotta do better than that. But yeah, I guess I'll give it a shot for you. When it's first like, stop it, stop it right now. Why is that a thing? Like, why? That doesn't need to be a thing. First looks odd. I hate first looks. Like, I get the concept of a first look for shows that came on, whatchamacallit, uh, like in the early 2000s, right? Like it made sense that you'd put things on digital earlier and you would try and get people interested that way. But it's 2019/20 and just a little bit like stop with first looks. Okay. What about Fair City? There we go. Make him go fight something while I do more research on Fair City. So, Will, what is it about Fair City that you're enjoying right now? Like, why would you tell me to watch River City or Fair City? Like, what is it about those shows that you're enjoying? And I do love classic bold. Like, it's so good. I'm trying. I just passed like episode 200 or so. So my goal is to hopefully uh catch up here soon because the Netherlands or wherever the heck I'm watching it, um, they're almost done with the third season, 1989, I guess. I don't know. It's uh, I don't know. It's so good, and when you compare it to current world, night and day difference. All right, let me just make sure I tweet a little bit. How am I liking Corey at the moment? Huh. If that is not a loaded question, if I've ever had one. Um, yeah. So Coronation Street is not bad. It's just not good. Like I don't know how to describe it. I'm really enjoying the acting. I love the cast so much because there's not really anybody on this show that I'm like, why are you there and what are you doing? It's a solid group of people. I don't hate Chesney and Gemma. I don't like. I know the internet does. They're fine. They don't bother me. What bothers me is the stories are not compelling and it's just kind of like a show I watch. I don't like Gary as the new supervillain. It's just kind of there, and it sucks because it's got all of the pieces of greatness there, right? Like the whole Daniel Sinead um, cancer story. Like, my God, you took legacy characters and just this whole awesome like combination of stories and characters and told award winning, rightfully so, stories. But then you just kind of like dropped it because there's nothing that's making me want to tune in tomorrow. That Christmas episode was just kind of a mess. It wasn't bad. Like it was very entertaining to watch. But then the end of it was just like you doing, right? Because you had like this murder die, and then you did a sing song with Rita in the pub, and I'm like, yeah, that's classic Corey. Don't get me wrong, but the tone was just not there. It just tonally was missing the beat, and then we lost Robert, or Michelle left. The dialogue just was clunky. Um, Storylines are just kind of dropped and then not mentioned again. And then, like, they think kind of throwing things in and retconning is what's going to save the thing. Like, no, it's not. Like, this whole John Snape's daughter is seeking revenge how many years after his death? Like it doesn't make sense. And yes, Will, Nick was set up to be the supervillain. And here's the thing, what Corey even said was that this new supervillain bad guy was gonna be the new oh dang it. What's his name? I was on the middle of a rant and I was going and then I just blanked. Uh uh And I even see him too, and that's what's making me so mad is I can see his face. Mike Baldwin. There we go. Yeah, he is not. Thank you, Ray. He's not Mike Baldwin. He is not Mike Baldwin. But you know who could have been Mike Baldwin? Nick. Nick would have been a great Mike Baldwin supervillain, but that's not what they did. They're trying to make him this Mike Baldwin feeling like combination thing, and it doesn't work. And then to pair him with Maria, who, like, why? Like, why? Like, none of this was necessary. Maria did not deserve this. And I love Maria, but what's the purpose of her character right now other than for the bad guy of the week to just seduce her and then ruin her life and then move on? Like, her, honestly, I loved her with David and I like her with Tyrone. Like, those are the beats that need to be played with her, not Gary. Just, that doesn't work. And I, there's no purpose to these stories, and it makes me sad. It makes me sad because I feel like Corey deserves better, and we're going into the 60th this year, and I've got zero faith that that's going to be entertaining. Meanwhile, though, EastEnders is going to knock it out of the park. Like, this is next year is a huge year for three of the four UK soaps. Like, we have Hollyoaks 25th, uh, Corey 60th, and whatchamacallit, the 35th for EastEnders. And somehow you're going to tell me that they're just going to do what? It makes me sad. Because I would love to see what Coronation Street could provide if. Can we just get Kate Oates back? Like, I know she's busy running basically the BBC, but can we just get her back to Corey? And can they just let her tell the story she wanted to? Like, I don't think I'm ever going to be upset or not upset over the fact that they got rid of her on that program. Like, be careful what you wish for, you guys. Ah, Grim Dark. Well, now nobody's talking about you. You've got a mass Casa Exodus. It's Allie. I don't dislike her and Kev. Like, that's the thing is, like, I don't know that they know what her purpose is because I hate Seb. I cannot stand Seb, and I don't see the purpose of his character existing anymore. So I just need him to leave, but she can stick around for Kevin because Kevin honestly is just there at the moment too. Like, that's the thing. All of these characters, all these legacy characters, are just kind of there, and I don't understand why. Let's pause here for a second, and we're just gonna tweet a little bit. Oh, well. While I do that, let's see. Well, you said that River City is a sense of community, and a few of the characters are really great, and some terrific actors. All right, I will check it out and let you know what I think. Probably tomorrow ish. Um, the Jeff and Yasmin story. Yes and no. Okay, so I enjoy Yasmin. I like the story, but I don't. I need Jeff to just suffer. And I think the problem is that they're doing him as a big bad with Gary being bad with, we had Robert in the middle of his like affair storyline in the middle of this other dark thing, and it just kind of was a lot to handle. So it kind of fell off for me. But I do really like the performances there. I think both actors are knocking it out of the park. And Jeff is just an asshole. Like he's just awful. And I really like what this story's doing. I just kind of need a little bit of balance. Whoa! Oh, I was wrong. Abby, sorry. Allie, you don't like Allie? What? What? Like, are Michelle's Allie? Or am I just making that up? I'm so tired. Hold on. Oh, nope. Sorry. I adore him. Like, I've got some issues with the writing for him. Mostly that they tried. Also, are we ever going to bring up the fact that they tried to make him a big bad again? When they had him kill off uh, that guy. Because, yeah. But I absolutely love his relationship with Ryan. Like, the sibling, quote, quote, relationship between Allie and Ryan and the way that they interact, especially with Michelle, like, no, you leave him alone. I don't want him to leave. I need him to like do more because I do I really like him. I do agree with you, Bree. Though I do think James, he's gonna bounce as soon as that contract's up. Sorry, I was drinking a drink. Um, um so, dude, Ryan is such a good fit, but I'm really worried what they're going to do with him because once you lose Michelle, you've lost Robert, you potentially lose Allie next year. Um, like, where does the character of Ryan Connor kind of fit in? Like, Sophie's gone. Um, I feel like everybody that he's kind of played with is just kind of like falling by the wayside. Bethany's leaving. You just kind of have Alia, and I like them together, but hmm, right? I don't know what you do with Ryan without any of the people he plays with, right? I am curious to see kind of who they bring back next year for the 60th. Because it is next year, right? Or is it the following year? I thought it was next year. Yeah, it is. Because it's 1960. Oof. They are not prepared for the 60th. They're just probably going to do some live episode bullshit again. Be like, here we are. We have some random movie star coming to the cobbles and just act like it's a big deal. It's not. It's not a big deal. Is there any characters like you guys would like to come back for the 60th? Or anybody like on your wish list that we hope we get to see next year? You know, like their go tos on Digital Spy is gonna be stuff like Bet Lynch and Becky and I'm trying to think of who else they haven't killed off that they could actually bring back. We'll probably see Norris again. Um, I could easily see them having Mavis come in for Rita, just to kind of see it to go through there. Yeah, I assume like that's where Ryan's gonna end up with next. It's just long term. I just don't know where we're gonna see him go. Ryan, that is. Probably will end up. I don't know. Well, they just make him gay and have him mess around the town. Just not with our Sean, because nobody deserves that. Even though he just signed another contract, like that man just refuses to go, and they will never write a story for him again. I would love Bet Lynch. I needed it for like an episode, and that's it. Because I don't think she works with modern Corey. You know, like I think she could just come in for like a cameo scene and then leave. But like, she doesn't really work. Oh, Curly would probably come back for the anniversary because it wasn't he like just this year uh, going into the media talking about how he wanted to come back and how he hoped that they would write a story for him and all of that. That means we probably would also get Martin Platt again. I didn't think about that. They need to do whatever it takes to keep Sarah Lou around. So that means throwing some money in building up that family. I could see it. Because they need to also do something like with Gail next year. Because the fact is, they haven't given her anything to do in quite some time. Like, just made her just kind of the talk to. And that's kind of sad. Ooh, Reg Hollingsworth. I could see that too. I think they need to get oh god, what's her name back? Um, Emma's mom for more than a Skype phone call. Cause girl looks fine as hell. I could also see Jason come back for a small stint. Yeah. They'll get him back, but yeah, Fiona. Thank you. I would love to see her back. Also, like, if we want to give Tyrone a story, can we bring back my Christy? Cause I would love to have her back. Aww. Poor Topher. If he didn't have a cut mouth and a swollen face, he'd be all about it. Well, I could kiss and make it better. But okay. Dude, the fact that they talked about whatchamacallit, giving her a love interest on that vacation just kind of like made me laugh because they're like, yeah, we thought about doing something like that, and then we decided, LOL, never mind. What? How? No, give her something to do. The Baileys, underdeveloped, massively underdeveloped and underutilized. I get they're kind of like letting them get used to everything and figure out how the cobbles work and all that stuff, but it's time. Like, we need a story for them ASAP because they're kind of like giving us bits and pieces now, which, all right, cool, but I'm ready for them to like really drive something at this point. And they just kind of exist. I think the family is full of talented actors that can carry the storylines and carry the show. But they don't need to do this. Like, they haven't done a single like thing other than update the house, and I need more. I need a story with characters like interacting, interweaving with the rest of the community because the majority, I guess, of the story is just the mom works occasionally at Roy's and can cook, kind of. So, yeah, let me have an actual storyline for the Baileys. Exactly. Like, give them something to do. I don't care what or who. Because that's the thing is like I don't actually like have any wishful storylines for them. I just I need them to do something. My hope is that they'll be one of the focus points of 2020, but this at this point this is Coronation Street and I don't trust them. I didn't like really any of them. I just needed I just kind of rolled with it because I like actors, but have they not done like that's the thing with them. If the characters were not there, I don't think I would miss the Baileys tomorrow. Like if I found out, oh, the new family just got cut, I'd be like, well, damn, that was a waste of time, but not actually notice that they weren't there. Gay Ryan with James, I'm okay with that. Like, I, if Hollyoaks can have everybody sleep with everybody, then damn it, they can do the same in the cobbles. That's all I'm saying. Like, let your grandmas get upset and just like let these people just be slutty and having fun. I'm only halfway paying attention to what's actually going on in this game and actually looking at my phone. All right, let's see where we're at. Do I think Helen Flanagan's ever coming back? I don't know. No, but yes. So ever is a long time. I do think she will be back. I don't think she will be back anytime soon. I'm thinking we will see maybe a quick cameo appearance for the 60th because I think they'll bring back Rosie and Sophie for that just to have a quick drive by, and then she will or they will both leave, and then they will return later. But I don't think I think both of them want to be moms right now, and that's where they're dedicated to. And I don't see the need for either character on canvas if it's not played by the actors that are currently in the role. If that makes sense. Like I don't think those roles need to be recast. I don't think that's necessary. So I think we'll see them quickly for the 60th, and then we will have them turn in later. Yeah, like they seem content, and that's okay. Like I'm okay with that because they didn't really know what to do with Rosie. I felt like I can't yawn. I've got way too many hours to still be awake to be yawning yet. But they didn't seem to really know what to do with her. So I can't really say that I'm upset that she's gone because she's doing something she wants to do. I feel like she gave an interview recently that said that she wasn't going to be returning anytime soon, but I could be wrong. And then a lot of these actors say that, and then bills come in and they're like, well, actually. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like she felt like she was just there. And then my poor Sophie, like, bless her little lesbian heart, she just was just lost because they did not know what they wanted her exit storyline to be, who they wanted her to be with, or how they were going to just get her from point A to point B. The fact that they were like hinting at throwing her with Kate just made me so angry because I wanted her with Kate, but that was not the story at that point at all. Isn't it funny that Jack is like fine at this point? Like all that build up for all that story to just kind of meh. Alright, well, we'll do its thing right there. Mm. Oh, oh, okay. Who would I like to see return for the Hollyoaks anniversary? That is a good one. I have a list. um, but really, the only one I could see returning that I really want and that I think would fit easily into the show and storylines and what they've got planned for 2020 and what 2021's got in store is Justin Burton. I want Justin back. I think it's a perfect time for him because it ties him into the um, Charlie story. It fixes. Oh, dang it. Um, Great for the Charlie story. I think it would be great for the drugs. Good for Warren. It would uh, just do such great work. And Hollyoaks has a track record of helping its problematic former stars. Other than Justin, I'm trying to think about the landscape of the show and what's going on. Because exactly, Justin has strong connections to the canvas. So like the people I want, like I want it to make sense. So like I would love a Jude return. OB, I would love to just have him back just for a cameo. I don't need a long story with OB, but just like let him come in and just be like, yeah, Tom's Turtles, bizarre, cool, and then leave. Um, I would love Jude. God, I would love Jude. I love Jude. Period. Who else? Um, Myra, I think needs to come back for the 25th. If it's just for the 25th, that's fine. She can come with Jackie, to see their cameo from Ruth. Yeah, I could see a cameo from her too. Um, I'm just trying to work people in because we will probably see Dom. I can see that because of Tony, right? Again, 25th anniversary. How did Dom leave? Like that's been a minute. I know. Oh, yeah. I forgot that. That's what it was. Oh, no. I forgot that Dom was involved in the reason why that uh, Malky and Steph kind of died. Oops. I don't know who else I want back. Like, there's a bunch of like random characters I would love to see. Like, I would love to see Mitzi back. For her sister, I would love to see. Uh, hmm, Bart's dead, so I really don't need Jasmine, Jason to come back. Uh, I honestly, I'm annoyed that Finn left the way he did because I always wanted to have his daughter come back to the show. I think that would be an interesting element to play. Trying to think. Okay, you do know Sharon and Adam had sex on screen, right? Okay, all of YNR, it just is a blur. Um, so no, I did forget that they had sex on screen since they returned. Was that like right? That was right after they returned, right? Our BB Jack. Like it wasn't until all of that time just like didn't just run together in my head. I knew he was having like dreams about her, but I didn't remember that they actually did the deed. Why not? Grr, greed, re. After Ray dumped Sharon. Okay. Yeah, like I said, all of Wine Art just kind of runs together for me. All right, let me see if I can. I don't know if it's gonna work, but you put my phone on the charger and it's on the other side of the room. So let's see if this stays connected. I kind of unplugged my controller for a second so I can do this. I don't break everything in the process. All right. So I guess let's talk Y&R for a minute. Y&R is just a mess. It's a whole ass mess. Um, without any like sense of direction and without any like real indication that it's gonna get better anytime soon. Um, and I think what's the worst part about it for me is knowing that nothing that I want to get involved in or care about matters because Josh Griffith's like days are literally numbered. Like literally there. And knowing that we've only got a few weeks, months, days, whatever it may be left of it, why am I investing in any of this vision when I know damn well the next regime's not going to give a fuck? So it's just kind of in this holding pattern for me, and I don't know how to look at it differently, and it sucks because I want to. I really want to enjoy YNR because I love that cast. Um, I press that button. Stupid lag. Um, Me too, because they've had some really uh, interesting conversations with people. Um, and there are some names being thrown around and names they talk to, and then people that they've brought in different roles to kind of help this current regime. And that's what's the weirdest part to me is the fact that Josh, as of right now, and as of what I've just heard last like 48 hours, he's still like actively writing the show, but they also brought in some people to help him out. And it's just like, what's they want history on the show, they want a vision on the show, but they don't want to get rid of him, but they don't want to support him. And it's just, it's like that gif of um, the dog sitting in fire and everything's on fire and he's just kind of sipping his tea. And that's kind of what um, the landscape of YNR is. I don't think we're getting Dina Higley. I'm just gonna go ahead and just say that. I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm not gonna say it's not because let's be real, the genre has done dumber things. But I also don't think we're going to get um anything. Why doesn't your co-panelist call for more minority representation on days? Okay, so I do not speak for anybody else. Um, they are their own people, and they are um, who they are, and their opinions are their own. What I will speak is from my point of view um, on it. And here's the thing: I don't want minority representation on Days of Our Lives for minority representation's sake. Um, Days is not the show that's done minority representation well in the last little bit, and yeah, I think it's kind of that is part of it, right? We don't want to just have the for that sake. So if you're not going to write for them, why waste your time? Trust me when I tell you that anybody that you have heard me podcast with, period, wants minority representation on the Days of Our Lives 110 fold. They definitely would love to have more diversity both behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, on the cameras, and they've talked about it. I can't tell you the amount of times that you can go back and listen to podcasts where we're discussing, wanting Theo Carver back or wanting to shoot all the gays to have better storylines and writing and to then have more just be developed within um, say Paul and his like support crew. There's just with days it's kind of a pick your challenge and fights, and I don't know. I don't I just want Days to be a compelling show, and I think it still has some issues, and that's something that I think my co-panelists, have addressed, and something that I feel like I've addressed, um, is just wanting a better show. And once we get a better show, then we can worry about focusing on better diversity or better this and that. But the last thing we want is another Haley. Like, let's just go there. Like, I don't want to just have these token characters for token's sake. I want token characters with a life and fully fleshed out stories and fully fleshed out characters with great characterization and like purpose. So that's kind of that. I hope that answered your question. Going back to Wynar though, I don't think we're getting Higley. I do think you will see some information probably in January about some writing changes coming on. Um, and we'll just leave it at that. But I don't think we have to worry about Dina Higley. Um, but you know what? I've been wrong before, and I don't even act like I know what's going on with the brains there at Sony. So we'll see. In the last podcast, they all dogged the subs for lack of diversity, except Days. Just saying. Um, dude. So during the recording of the last podcast, I was multitasking like a mofo and literally had a bunch of like real life stuff happening at the exact same time. So I wasn't as involved, and like you can clearly hear where like I was not present um, for chunks of that discussion. Um, but I think that's because we had so much more to talk about with Days. Um, and we also tend to, it feels like, so when you're looking at the diversity landscape for Days, like, yeah, um, I, I think you can see that, they do have Lonnie and they do have Eli and they do have, you know, some diversity and they're telling stories for their characters. Do they need to do better? Yes, tenfold. But like the gays are getting stories, the straights are getting stories, the this ones and that ones. Like they do at least have some diversity. It's just not great. I don't know. And I feel weird talking about that diversity aspect being, a white straight man. I just don't feel like that's kind of my foray. Because I'll be honest with you, in my writing, like I don't necessarily have characters of color in there all the time because I don't I can't write from their voice, right? It'd be something where I would love to have a cool writer's room for anything that I'm doing where I could just get multiple thought processes and we can find these characters' voice and it's authentic. But I feel like if I was to sit there and write a character, like it would come off as it would as a white man just writing, without any depth. And I don't want to just write diversity for diversity's sake. Um, I hear Josh Griffith isn't going nowhere because Kent is writing for him, but he may get a co-head writer, and that's kind of what I've been hearing. Is that Josh Griffith, like, they're fighting hard to keep that man in his role, but the names that are coming up for co-head writer, and the names that potentially replacing him or consulting are both really good to why to huh to interesting. I don't think you're going to get new blood there at all. Every single name that I've heard has been in the game already. Um, they've either been on YNR in some form or fashion, or they have been in the soap game in some form of fashion. Dina Higley was talked to. I do know that. But I was the same time that they talked to a couple other people from them. No comment, Bree. Um, but I think okay, let's just hypothetically play out a Chuck Pratt return, and I don't think it would be that bad if he had somebody there to kind of like slap his hand and be like, "I'm sorry, Chuck. No, we're not doing that." Like I would have loved a Chuck Pratt, Sally Sussman, just like era. Could you imagine Sally's like history with Chuck's like over the top, just exciting stories? Like Chuck did not get Weinar. Chuck did not get Weinar a damn bit. But his show was compelling to watch. Like shit was happening. Then we got to Sally and history was there and characters were there, but ain't shit happening at all. And then we go from that to Mal Young, who wanted to make it Brookside, but then was told at every attempt that he couldn't do that, to then Josh Griffiths just like restoring history and just like, oh, no, I'm not saying that Agnes Nixon and Bill Bell and like others did not write for minorities wonderfully, and they did not have that sense there. And I'm not saying that there are not writers that can, but if that's not your strength, then why are you doing it, right? Like Agnes Nixon and Bill Bell, I think, are two of the top, most amazing writers that this genre has ever had. We don't have that right now. Was he going to have JT under the patio? Basically, um, but the here's the thing, like the JT story was going to be way different, because they wanted not to do this Big Little Lies story initially. Um, my understanding of the story was this was going to be a much longer um, domestic violence story, and then uh, stuff happened, and they needed to wrap it up fast, and that's why we got the initial death, and then Big Little Lies appeared, and then they had to undo all of that, and then it just kind of culminated in the mess that we got. Yeah, Josh Griffith is totally restoring the wrong history. Yeah, because it was meant to be like a year long story. It was going to, and that would have been so good, because I'll be honest, the domestic violence stuff, if it was played out the way that it was supposed to play out, and the way that I think like it could have, like it would have been literally some of the most compelling television we've ever seen. But they chickened out and they messed it all up, and they took what could have been a great character driven story and masked it all up. Sorry, got distracted again. What's the most surprising thing you've seen watching Old, Bold, and the Beautiful? Oh God. That's a good one. Honestly, the most surprising thing for me is how much I love Donna Logan. Um, Everything that I've seen about Donna was this Betty Boop, uh, blonde airhead that would just smother herself in honey and just have sex and utilize herself for that. But that's not who Donna was. Like Donna was a smart, naive girl, and I just really enjoyed her. Um I love the family aspect of it. I love the multiple storylines that they've got going on. Um, I don't understand how Ridge Forrester was this icon. I mean, I guess that people found Ron Moss attractive, and that's what got it going. Because it certainly was not him as a like character. Because Ridge Forrester is trash. Ridge Forrester is the biggest piece of shit that's ever existed. And maybe that's because I'm watching it through the viewpoint of somebody watching in 2019. So the fact that everything is blamed on the woman just infuriates me. Um, Ridge was basically like, "Hey, so Caroline, the reason I slept with this reporter was because you're a virgin and you wouldn't give it up to me. So, LOL, I had to go get it elsewhere and it's your fault." And I was like, that doesn't quite seem like the right message to be sending, but okay, cool. And because honestly speaking, like, no, like, I get it. Like, if she's not into you, like, cool. But then follow that up with her getting raped by her attacker, and then the next like 40 episodes we get Caroline, like, really, were you raped or were you just asking for it? Cause I feel like you just kind of volunteered it up and you're just like claiming rape now just cause. And I was like, is that really the message we want to send? And it just was like one thing to the next. Um, okay, so everybody did always believe Rich was trash. Thank you. That makes me feel better about my thoughts on society because I was like, what in the hell was going on? I also laughed at the fact that marriage has literally always meant nothing to these people on the show, no matter who's writing it, because in the span of 200 episodes now, I've watched Caroline get engaged to Ridge, go to marry Ridge, break up with Ridge, get raped, and then go ahead and marry his brother. Um, and now she's kind of like not pining after Ridge, but just kind of like there. And I'm like, huh, where are you going with this? What you trying to do? Belle did the same with Nick and Sharon in the beginning. See, that's another one. Like, all right, if anybody ends up posting like classic YNR, I'm screwed because I'm gonna have to watch it. It's just, I mean, it's the rules. Please don't send me a YouTube channel. I don't need it. Because I'll be honest with you guys, the next classic that I'm interested in kind of maybe doing is Santa Barbara. But also, we got, I forget, I'm curious to see what Retro's doing because they're supposed to be doing something this next coming month with doctors. And I'm curious about that one too. Because if I can watch all of the doctors, like, goddamn. I'm just gonna watch Classic Bold, followed by Classic EastEnders, followed by Classic Corey, followed by Classic Emmerdale, followed by Classic Conway, followed by Classic Doctors. Like, I could just literally not watch our current stuff and just watch old stuff, and I'd be okay. Because also, then I could watch Days. Like, Be Still My Heart, 1984, but you're. Uh, the quality of the episodes that are out there just is not good. But also, like, I really want to watch more. I'm about to watch Roman die. Like, I've been avoiding my binge for a little bit because I'm not ready to see him die. See, Breathe, like, that's the thing. It's like, the Doctors, when it's been airing on Retro, like, I watched the first week or two. Nah, that's a lie. I watched like the first month or two when it was on Retro, and like I really enjoyed it. I think the acting was cool, the characters were great, like the whole 9 yards. Like there's no complaints, but I just couldn't keep up. There wasn't like a good source for it, and then like I guess the person like moved that was uploading it to YouTube to Dailymotion and kind of found a way to do it, and I just never got around to like keeping up with it. So yeah. But I am curious what's going to happen when that happens. I think it's soon, isn't it? Yeah, there's not any news about it. Think so. In January, that going to be doing with that with Retro. I'll die if I get to see the black and white episodes. See, that's my thing is I don't know, and they're talking about doing like some new specials and with the cast that's alive. Like what does that mean? It'd be really cool if they like launched that and like big things are on the horizon. Stay tuned. Metro TV. Like, okay, well that's cool, but when are the big things coming? The only thing I ever see with Retro is just all the Doctor Who stuff that they paid probably way too much money for. Yeah, like literally their Facebook feed is nothing but like Doctor Who, Doctor Who, Doctor Who, Doctor Who, Doctor Who. Like, I mean that's cool, but you can just wait. I'm actually reading up what they're talking about. Yeah, Santa Barbara and Doctor Seuss. I would like to watch Santa Barbara. I've only watched like the pilot. Dude, everybody in the stupid comments. Oh, I'd love to see Retro run another classic soap like maybe Bright Promise, which is said to still exist, owned by Bing Crosby Productions. I mean, I would adore that, but I don't see that happening. Also, I've never in my life heard of Bright Promise. Like, sorry. You probably should. Oof, that just looks a mess. See, I would love it if they could get like honestly just anything. I'll be honest with you. I'm a sucker for any classic stuff. My big issue is just I don't have the time. I would love The Edge of Night. Good lord. Also, I want Loving. I'm sorry. I really want Loving. Only just because I want to see the Loving murders. Like I think that shit would be legit. Alright, let's learn what Bright Promise is about. Oof. You know, honestly, what I would um see them do is whatchamacallit. One, I could see them doing Dark Shadows because duh. Two, I would really like them to see them do Peyton Place. Because it's prime time enough, but it's also daytime enough, and then once they finish it, then they could try and do whatchamacallit, a Return to Peyton Place. 605 episodes, okay. Oh, it was by Frank and Doris Hersley. Alright. Synopsis. Show revolved around student and faculty at the fictional Bancroft College. Again, Bancroft. Okay. I'll actually read this out for the internet, so I'm not just mumbling to myself. The show revolved around the students and faculty at the fictional Bancroft College, located in the community of Bancroft, where somewhere in the American Midwest. The name of the show reflects the overarching theme of bright promise that the leaders of tomorrow, graduating from Bancroft, would bring. At first, the main character was college president Thomas Boswell. Later, the focus shifted from the college to the town of Bancroft at large. focused mainly on the Pierce and Jones families, the main characters. By this time was Sandra Jones, who had been a student at Bancroft College and married herself into a wealthy Pierce family. Bright Promise was created by the husband and wife writing team of Frank Doris Hursley, who had previously created GH, and was their last project prior to retirement. Interesting. Hmm. But yeah, no. So like, if it was me, I would do Doctors and then Dark Shadows because of the CW upcoming reboot. Remember that's coming. So lots of promotion and you get your game time going. And I want to see it and have a reason to, even though the entire thing's just on Amazon, just waiting for me to stream. Um, Peyton Place, I think would just be excellent to see. I think all the episodes exist, and I think there's like bootleg copies of it out there on the internet. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just need to do it. And Return Paint Place is supposedly to be still existing in its entirety. See, that's why I think it'd be really cool to see it all. Loving in the City, the Loving Murders. Like, I just want to see it in the city. I've never watched, but I'm curious about. I think it'd be cool to see. Uh, yeah, this whole gaming thing's just not gonna happen anymore. That's the thing with me and gaming is it's really fun and I enjoy it, and then I get bored. So we're just gonna let you go to rest for a second, and I'm just gonna. Nope, not that image. There we go. Is there any other old soaps that you guys would like to see? No shade, but what got a straight man into soaps? Oh, okay. So, huh? That's a long story. Let's see where we can start that out. So I've always had an interest in continuing stories. Um, I've always liked things where the narrative went on from episode to episode, and I felt like my time mattered. So as a kid, like my favorite cartoon was like um, Spider-Man, the '90s series, and X-Men. Um, in the '90s because those things went on. I love the Power Ranger multi episodes. So the Green Ranger battles, the Zeo saga, things like that. Like I liked continuing stories. One of my first and earliest memories of this really like bothering me was Boy Meets World and the cliffhanger of is Corey going to accept Topanga's um, proposal? Like this all just cemented just me growing up and me doing it, right? So then come early 2000s, like I love prime time. I'm watching like a little bit of everything, just this, that. I watched big shows that hooked me were things like ER. I watched because my mom watched it growing up and she told me I couldn't watch it. So then in the early 2000s, it was being rerun on a local affiliate as well as TNT. So I kind of got addicted to that. And there was a issue of TV Guide magazine that we got in the mail, and I would read that thing cover to cover because I also love to read and anything that was like TV related and just interested me. So I was just like soaking up any information I could about my favorite shows because the internet just wasn't a thing I readily had access to. And they were talking about this sci-fi show coming on and being repeated from the beginning and it being a big deal. And it was this thing called Passions. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. What's that about? And heard, did a little bit of Googling and saw, oh, it's a soap. And I was like, ah, that's weird, but whatever. It's on sci fi. I enjoy a lot of sci fi's content because Battlestar Galactica, um, what was it, The Locked Room, Dresden Files. Like there was a lot of stuff that was there, and so I was like, all right, well, let's just see what this is about. You're saying it's about magic and this and that, and I kind of heard of Dark Shadows before, so I kind of like knew about the genre, but didn't know about the genre. Um, so tuned in for the premiere of Passions and then I became instantly hooked on that show, and that led to me learning about Dustin's Passions page, which then ultimately led to me watching NBC Passions as it was airing. So I was watching repeats and classic Passions, and then I was watching Days of Our Lives, and then from Days I picked up. Okay, let's see if I can remember the order. From Days, I did GH next. And then GH I did GH and GH Night Shift around that time. And then I did One Life to Live. All My Children was such a pain in the ass to start. Like I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I hated that show. Just it was just filmed so goddamn weird because that was around the time of the Satin Slayer, and they went to the um, new filming format, and it just was a mess. And then I was also checking out. Okay, let's think if I can remember which order I did the CBS shows. I think I did YNR because it was the number one show, and it would join SoapNet, and I was really upset that when it said it was joining SoapNet, I thought it meant from the beginning all Passions on Sci-Fi, and then I was really annoyed that it wasn't, but I still watched it. And then I did As the World Turns, and then B&B, and then Guiding Light was my last holdout, and that just was because it was just so bad. But I watched it all from that point. I watched Hollyoaks in the summer when it premiered on BBC America, and then I didn't start watching EastEnders until probably a year later, year and a half later. Um, then I tried Corey and Emmerdale like 17 different times, and before I finally like got there, um, Short in the Street I tried like 4 or 5 times till I got there. Uh, I watched Home and Away and Neighbors. I started in 2008, and that's pretty much it. So, long story short, I just fell in love with the concept of an ongoing serialized storytelling, and this show's just interested me. Um, so yeah, none of my so my mom watched Days and Another World but not with me around. She watched it back in the 80s, and then by the time like I was like, I think she fell out with Days during OJ, as you do. And I think OJ killed her soap viewing. But she was also like not a fan of the devil possession, so I think that didn't help either. And my grandmother on my mom's side didn't watch soaps until like she just started watching YNR like a couple of years ago, and I was like, now for real now, whatever, okay, cool. And my grandmother on my dad's side would watch her stories, um, but she lived in Florida for majority of my life, and New York for the end of hers. Um, and I never really like spent time with her, but she watched CBS shows. I remember seeing Carly Tinney um, on it, and I remember like kind of watching it a little bit around the time that Hal died, just because I remember her talking to me about it, but not me like actually watching, caring anything about it. Um, I think the only thing I ended up watching with her was like some random ABC stuff, but I just didn't. She didn't watch it, and I just didn't care. So, hopefully that answered that question. If I didn't, just let me know. I see. I remember Passions aired on my local affiliate before it came on NBC in 2002, where I first watched. My mother watched the ABC shows growing up and was watching Days in the 90s through early 2000s, in which she stopped. See, I want. So, I'm the reason that my mom has actually gotten back into soaps through international soaps because I'm sorry, I can't wish the US ones on us. I can't. So I got my mom into Neighbors and Home and Away, because those are the two like most like her. Interesting. Yeah, no, I'll definitely give it out. So here's my thing with soap podcasts, or podcasts in general. I need compelling host and good sound quality. If you got those two things, I will listen to you talk about anything, anywhere. Because that's just me as a person. Um, if you sound like you're being recorded with tin cans, I can only listen to so much. And trust me, I know that some of the podcasts I've done have had questionable audio quality. And I'm sorry, it's not my fault. But I definitely would take a look at Trip Down Soap Lane. I'm actually subscribing to it now. While also Snapchatting the fact that I've got a glass of wine and headphones and Mhm, 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 mhm. My problem is that I'm bouncing out all this soap watching with like, for some reason, reality TV. Because before I watched soaps, like I'm not gonna lie, I loved me some reality competition shows. Um, that was my early-ish, and I was all about it. So like I'm finding a renewed love for like Big Brother, The Challenge, Survivor, and I'm trying to like finish up clearing out some of my backlog of seasons I missed of that and due to just different life reasons. Um, Especially with Survivor 40 coming out, Big Brother Australia. Um, I'm just super excited, but let's see. Subscribed. Okay. Yeah, I see that you just did the beginning of Santa Barbara like that. Actually, is the thing that I'm curious about the most. All right, so let's see what all we got. The Rise of Search for Tomorrow, Rise of Galilea, as the world turns edge of night. That's cool. Beginning of GH, beginning of Days. Nice. So it kind of goes through. Pretty detailed through that. That's actually a really interesting concept. Yeah, no, I'm gonna definitely download and listen to the Santa Barbara one because, like I said, I'm super curious about picking that up. Cause I know it's available. I know that was a thing. Santa Barbara is good. So is Old Ryan's Hope and Knots Landing. Yeah. So Ryan's Hope, I tried. I did. Um, back when it was on SoapNet, and it just never got me. I don't know. I think I might appreciate it better now that I'm a little bit older. I would like to see it again if somebody like. I think that's one that I could see easily going to whatchamacallit, retro. Uh, the issue that all these dang shows have is the stupid music license. Like I think that's hurting it, but I think streaming's gonna do a little bit better. Knots Landing though, I don't understand why I haven't finished that one. Mostly, I think it's because of just like accessibility. I've watched the first 4 seasons, maybe. I need to finish it at some point because God, it's just so good. And then Dynasty, I need to finish. I watched it again like the first 3, 4 seasons of that, and now the excuse for that is just there's only so many like catty old women I can deal with in one sitting, and yeah, but it's good. Um, it's just something I just kind of have to be in the mood in. And the problem was I tried to do Dynasty Dallas and Knots Landing at the same time, and it just was a lot of old pacing for me. So I just had a hard time really just getting into it. Abby was my girl. I adore her so much. Um, so I've really just kind of want to finish it for Donna Mills, to be honest with you. But like I liked Karen a lot. I'm trying to remember what the last thing I saw was. I think it was Karen moving on. After Sid died. It's her husband, right? I'll say it was Sid. It's been a few years. But with it being the 40th anniversary, like, come on, somebody, just pay the money, get it up there. Let me see what this great show had to offer. Because I heard about some like kidnapping with twins and stuff, and just, I need to see it with my eyes. I think it re-aired in the UK like a year or two ago. It wasn't long, so I need to do that. I do like this trend of like letting all these classic shows though re-air. Hopefully more will come. Mm-hmm. Wait. Does the circle start in 30 minutes? Shit. I thought it wouldn't start for later. Falcon Crest bored me to tears. I think it was the problem. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard like season two is when Falcon Crest gets better, but season one was just kind of oof. I finished all Dallas, so I watched literally every single episode of that series, both the original and then I was ready and geared up for the new. And when I tell you that the TNT show just doesn't exist in my mind, it just doesn't exist in my mind. Yeah, season two's when it's popping with Melissa. Yeah, see, the thing with Falcon Crest is I don't know anything really about it. I know Jane Wyndham is in it, and I know there's that guy that looks like he wants to be my Joshua from Guiding Light, and that's about it. And then like I think the series ends with that old lady toasting Falcon Crest, right? Like that's about my go-to Falcon Crest knowledge. A toast to you, Falcon Crest. Long may you live. Robert Foxworth, right? See the main guy? Just looking up. Loretta Lamas. Yeah. Vince Sullivan. Yeah. Yeah. Jason's wife Maggie. Yeah. I just did you do I don't know. Nothing Falcon Crest just was a ride. Then I know once I finish all those, then I need to check out like Flamingo Road or some of those weird ones. But then there's like all this new stuff that's constantly coming out. I just need more hours. Falcon Crest was the days of nighttime soaps. I've heard really good things about it. I just need to chill and just watch it. Just like I said, requires time, patience, and the problem is like I want to watch so much that there's only so many hours. I can, dang, I can only watch so much, but we'll see. No, it's what's the best of the bunch. That's what everybody says. Ugh, I don't know why. See, I think if that one was on DVD, I probably would have already watched it by now. But it wasn't when I was in my 80 soap binge phase, so it kind of just didn't get viewed all the way. Because like I bought the first two seasons and then like didn't deal with the rest, so it's sad, but whatever. Um, Beverly Hills 90210 or Melrose Place for me. I've watched all of 90210, both the original and remakes. Um, and I've watched all. Let's see, the new season of Melrose Place I watched, and I watched the uh, original through season 5. I've not seen season 6 and 7 yet, or I saw season 6 part 1, but not 7. Um, I they're very different shows. I loved Beverly Hills 90210 way more. I hated the first two seasons of 90210, and I hated the first season of Melrose Place. The first season of Melrose Place is kind of unwatchable for me. The first season of BH 90210 is completely unwatchable. And realistically speaking, all of 90210 is just garbage for the CW. But I adored the original 90210. That cast, the everything about them. They're so slutty and awesome. I loved every bit of it. Valerie is kind of my spirit animal. Um, yeah. Uh, I didn't see the CW version of 90210 or Melrose Place. You didn't miss out on anything because they're awful. Um, I think the CW's version of Melrose Place could have been amazing, but it didn't need the Sydney murder mystery. And the CW version of 90210 needed somebody to slap its hand a few times and keep it on track. But dude, so I was upset knowing that Shannon Doherty wasn't gonna still be in 90210. Like I actually ended up really liking her character. Brenda was kind of went from being like boring to like interesting to me. So I was kind of annoyed We're gonna have to like drink an energy drink or something in a second. But once Valerie like was smoking in the I guess bedroom or whatever it was, and the her first episode, I just was hooked. Plus, I've always had a huge crush on Tiffany Amber Thiessen from her Saved by the Bell days. So when I got to see her just being Valerie, like my God. Also, she got to show her range. Like she wasn't just Kelly Kapowski; she could do work, and I like that a lot. The bedroom, yeah. Like I just remember like the scene of her like just smoking with like the window open. I think she was like on a giant ass phone talking to somebody. And then I think I remember right, Brandon caught her and was like, "What are you doing? Don't do that." And just like whatever. So sad about Luke Perry. Yeah, I still haven't watched the end of that tribute on Riverdale. I know all about it. I just haven't finished it. Yeah, that's what I assumed. Like that's gonna just break my heart. But I kind of just honestly just want to watch Riverdale in chunks. Like, I'm just gonna binge watch it. Like that's just my way to go these days. Mhm. Okay. All right. Well, with that said, my laptop is about to die. So I think I'm going to go ahead and bid you guys adieu. Um, Thank you, everybody that showed up today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and listening. My hope is all of 2020, I'm just going to be doing live stuff all the damn time. Um, I'm probably going to kick off some 2020 reality TV coverage, starting with some coverage on The Circle. Tomorrow, I'm hoping to do a whole lot of fun podcasting stuff. I'm hoping to do a whole lot of live streaming stuff. Um, Basically, just gonna be here all the time. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I hope I entertained you guys a little bit tonight. If you guys got any questions, feel free to hit me up on the Twitters. I don't really have anything more to say as far as that goes. You guys obviously know that I am at SoapWikiJohn on the Twitters. You can follow Artake Media at artakemedia.com, as well as at Artake Media. But I'm going to go in. Honestly, I think I'm about to go get changed and go make some bad life choices. But that is for another story. So thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time, bye. Also, all right, see ya.